Mr. Eggplant presents...
Hey guys, Tyler here, and thanks for checking out this video. This video is actually from a Twitch live stream I've had recently. That's at Twitch TV/Mr. Eggplant. I hope you guys would consider throwing me a follow over there.
My God.
Hey guys, Tyler here, and thank you for finally checking out my newest video. And I do apologize, it's been several weeks since I have actually put one out. I've been doing a lot with work, and as you can hear, I'm going to try to get through this, coming down from being sick. So, again, I apologize, but I wanted to make sure and get this out for you. So, this is the fabled plus 14 that we did a couple of weeks ago. You can see we did this on the 25th of March, so like I said, it's been a little bit, but, you know, life has kind of gotten in the way, so I'm going to make sure and bring it to you now. So this is the plus 14th Temple of Sethraliss.
Yep.
The affixes are fortified, we have bolstering, we have skittish, and we have reaping.
No.
As I'm running over my cord here. So as for our group, it's the standard Canadian buddies plus JB and I. We have Murdoch on his, I think he's Assassination in this one. He's actually moving to Outlaw Rogue, which we've had some really good damage increases with his Outlaw Rogue. So you'll probably start seeing Outlaw a little bit more on the channel here whenever we do our Mythic Plus videos. Then Durs, of course, is our tank, Blood DK. He might actually be moving to his Monk. So we are waiting to see that. So our quote meta in our group might change just a little bit here, but I'm excited for some new things. We've got Cinderai on his Havoc Demon Hunter, and guess what? He might be considering making a change as well. He might be moving to a Monk. We're not entirely sure yet. That was actually what I was told this morning, but you know, I'm excited. I'm going to stay as Marksman Hunter though, so that'll be the one thing that stays the same. And then JB is of course on his new character named JB, which is the Resto Druid. So that kind of rounds out our group, just the standard group that we always run with. And just for you guys that are watching, we do not time this unfortunately, although we would have had we had not wiped 3 times on the 3rd boss. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm afraid I'm going to be coughing a lot, so I'm going to do my best. I've got my water here to make sure I don't. Anyway, so we wipe a couple of times on the 3rd boss, which we do cut that out of the video. But this is going to be a long one, so prepare yourself, sit back, grab some popcorn, watch me try to not die. You're going to see later. We do have a few deaths in this, but this was our highest key to date. Although some people in the group have done some 16s now, which is super awesome. But in Temple of Sethraliss, the hardest part is the ads. And of course, they are skittish, which really good if you are running with a hunter, especially if you're running with a hunter-rogue duo, because rogues have tricks of the trade, which can give basically a misdirect, as well as, you know, me having a misdirect. So we've got the first reaping coming up here. I think he kind of forgot that the reaping was coming, but that's all right. He's like, oh, I know. But then he didn't know clearly what we were talking about. Gotta make some jokes at his expense there. So the hardest part of Temple of Sethraliss is the ads, especially on weeks that aren't tyrannical. Tyrannical weeks just kind of make the place difficult in general, because the bosses are actually really easy in comparison normally. So we get through here, make sure and not die to the dot there if all possible.
There you go.
Finish off this lost soul here. It's kind of cool that we've already got to that point where we've got the first reaping down before the first boss here.
I'm getting man. I'm getting.
So we're getting ready to move down here. And also, the build that I'm running, I'm still running with the Unerring Visions build that I champion so much here on the channel. I'm running with 3 Unerring Vision, I'm running with 1 Surging Shots, I'm running with 1 in the Rhythm, and 1 Focus Fire. So I'm doing 1 of each. My weapon is item level 410. I'm trying to think, because that's Azerite in your weapon item level is going to be your biggest damage increase this expansion so far. Basically, regardless, like if you don't have a good weapon or good Azerite, you're not going to be able to do nearly as much damage as somebody with the same item level but with a higher weapon or better Azerite.
Oh yes.
We're finishing off this stuff here.
Okay, the marksman is down.
I'm trying to think. There wasn't too
Oh,
many
we
tough
got,
packs either,
pads here.
just because
So everyone on the
there's not a ton of terrible packs in
how
here,
we,
but you just have to
double
watch
mark it.
out with your bolstering during bolstering weeks, which I believe this week, which I am recording this on Wednesday, April the 10th. The bolstering is a big deal. It makes these places a lot harder because if you're not good at like pure AoE, like cleaving them down very evenly,
Really?
it's very difficult because then you're going to start bolstering stuff unneeded, which in turn slows you down. So we're getting ready to get up to Azerite here and
Well, it's nice knowing
Aspix.
you guys.
So we're gonna find out, and you guys are too, here in about
call this out
20
with you?
seconds that they did not know this fight. So for anybody who does not know the fight, you want to make sure and not attack the one that has the lightning shield. So Aspix has the lightning shield right now, so we want to be on Azerite. And just like that, Cinderai's dead because he was attacking the one with the shield. Because of course, every time you attack something with the shield, it does damage to you. And
You only
it's
swap
it's
to
it's
interrupt
not a small amount of damage. So we want to make sure and dodge the stuff that I just got
Bones.
hit by because you know I'm bad.
AMS.
But you want to dodge the Cyclone Strike, and whenever he uses Gale Force, like he's doing there, he's just going to push you back. So you just need to fight it or get around to the side. So this basically you just switch back and forth. So since Azerite has the
Iceborne
shield buff,
bound.
excuse me, we want to make sure and be attacking Aspix. So we want to move away from where we were because he's going to rush to where we were. So there we go. Just move out of that. Easy peasy. Not too difficult. Then they're going to throw the shield back on Aspix, which it just got on there. So now we move back to Azerite. Like I said, it's pretty easy. And of course, I am running with my pet here because I dodged the Cyclone Strike, which didn't come to us at least. Is that I needed a Bloodlust because I am the Bloodlust for our groups. So I'm trying to remember. We Bloodlust on bosses 1, 3, and 4, I think. But we did it on 3 and 4 because we wiped several times on 3. Normally you wouldn't be able to do that if you were trying to time it. So we've got one boss down there, so we're just, or he's almost dead, I should say. But he had the shield, so you, even if he has hardly any health left, you don't want to really attack him because you could kill yourself very easily. So we're just going to finish off Azerite when we get the chance. And we're currently on Aspix here, just dodging that, just like I said just a second ago.
You can interrupt that.
Pretty standard fight, it's not terrible. They just have a lot of health because we are doing a 14. So our damage-wise in this group right now, like I believe it's me there at 19, then we've got a 15, and we've got a 10. And keep in mind, Cinderai lost all of his burst because he died very early. So his damage would have went up. But Azerite and Aspix is down. We can go ahead and move right along there. And
How's that
JB just
board?
putting in some work there with like 28k
How's that
HPS. He's pretty much a baller at this point. Finally got all his Azerite he wants.
They were hitting hard. They were hitting really hard.
Want to come through here and dodge all this mess. And with
Okay,
you
continue
are
moving.
tanking this, make sure every time you pull a rider, like we have right in front of us here, you always turn him away from us.
Don't go in front.
That way we do not get the breath at us. And
We saw.
just like that, JB is dead. Because he's like, and I saw dead.
Do you know? What
So-
to do here?
When you're doing these high keys, if you get hit by those, you die. Because he went from like,
good.
200k to dead.
Oh, I like how we all got that.
So we're just finishing off the rider here. I will say the most annoying trash in this entire dungeon, for me at least, is the ones that drop the. It's the snakes that drop the
So we have
like the
science that will kill you
sand
over it.
like pit thing. I guess you can call it.
So
It's like
that's
a
what we're doing here, right?
cloud. There we go, a sand cloud to where you can't attack them. So you're gonna see in this poll, there's quite a few of them up here that do it. You're gonna see me pretty much just whiff because all my stuff will just miss.
Turn them away from us.
So as you can see there above their heads, miss, 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 miss. So I'm rolling my misdirect. I say that I say it actually every video now. Always roll your
gotta move 'em.
misdirects in Mythic Plus, just because it makes life so much easier for everybody else.
Rotate.
Especially
Rotate to
with
there
if
we
you're
go.
running with a high crit
Bones.
build like I am, meaning when I am bursting, I'm probably going to have high crit because of the way
Assholes.
Unerring
I
Visions
can't grab 'em,
works.
I don't think.
And as I just keep attacking that one
Yeah,
target,
so
that keeps
move,
making
move.
me miss.
Yeah,
I don't
he's
know
in
why
the
I keep
shit.
going back to it.
He's
That's why I
just
don't
not
like to
moving.
tab
Okay,
too
got
often.
him. Scales.
And of course, he's also getting bolstered up there too, so we have to kind of take that into consideration. And I'm pretty sure I just heard my mic open up in the video, and that's probably what I was saying there. So you want to make sure and dodge the power shots here. I tend to stay away from everybody, just because if there is anything to drop, like, you know, if there's anything to dodge, that sort of thing,
Look at that
I'm
jig.
dropping them away from
Jay.
everybody else because other than JB, which is the healer, I'm the only ranged. So I want to make sure I have all this range back here. I have all this room. I want to make sure and use it appropriately.
Look at
Nice.
that.
Nice.
So we are at 31% for enemy forces.
That's what we got
So
to do.
we're, you know, we're getting there on the enemy forces.
Showing up.
Yeah, 'cause I can
We
quickly
should get
shot
them
and then I can-
before the second boss.
Okay, let's keep.
Line of sight, line of sight.
We're
let's
going
pull.
to, as
Like,
JB
pull 'em
said,
up
line of
already,
sight
where
back
we
here
are.
and just kind of hang out.
Don't worry, David.
So we could have been rolling this faster. Like if we were really wanting to time this, we should have rolled things much faster. But you know that doesn't always happen. We hadn't done this at this high of a key. I think we had done it previously at 11. So a 14 is a big up from an 11. So I've used my Unerring Visions there, or my Unerring. I've used my True Shot there.
You
I
with the
can't even
bow.
talk today.
Got it.
To make sure and get as much damage
have
on
that
these as
DPS?
possible. And then a lot of people have asked how I roll my my double tap and how I roll my True Shot.
Just not. I'll see
So
if I can.
on Mythic plus
I can
10
go
or above
further
keys,
down
you want to
here,
make
too.
sure and have your first off, you want your misdirect to be up. You really want that. But your True Shot, you want it to be almost up or be up whenever all the ads come out for the reaping. That is
Got it.
so important just because there's so much damage going out there, especially if there's a lot of casters, which they cast all the grave bolts. Unless you have like a Gorfiend's Grasp or something, it's really difficult to grab them all in and interrupt them all.
There's a pat on the.
So that's actually, I think, what we had been doing in like a previous video.
There should be a big Crocalus. Yeah.
But
There he is.
you want to make sure and always use that, have that True Shot almost ready.
Aye,
And
aye.
then as for my double tap, I like to have it up for bosses, but that doesn't always happen. To where I just use it on cooldown. Like it'll sit there a little bit, but most of the time I will just use it on cooldown. And if there's a large
Drew,
like
you can get the next.
if there's a
like,
large
nice
amount of things we're fighting, so like something I can cleave on, for example, I will use it on my rapid fire. That way, because it'll basically give me an entire focus bar worth of focus again.
After this, I'm gonna run.
So I use it
all
that
the
way more
up.
than anything, thanks to
Not
my
all the way
focus
up,
fire,
like
which has
basically where that old
a
other pack
30%
was.
chance for every attack to do that, give me an additional 2 focus. So instead of just getting your 10 focus from your rapid fire, I'll end up getting right around 18 to 20. It really depends. I think that might be a little high, but 18 for sure is what I see in raid a lot. So you saw there, I had my True Shot ready. That way I can just burst on these things because just everything's right there. That's so much free damage for us. Because I'm at 50k right now, and there wasn't that many out there.
Beat again.
So, and unfortunately it got behind me. I do hate that. But they
Assholes
are
just doing it up
slowly
again.
getting in here. They're still not
Party, I
perfect
guess.
when it comes to all coming in at once.
Beat.
Sometimes they'll just port around.
Keep
You want to
going.
make sure and dodge the green stuff. When you hear them say feet, 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 that just means
Feet again.
the purple slam is happening, which I think it just did. I don't know if they got hit by it or not. But think about it. 3 weeks ago, we were doing these videos and we were doing our runs, and we were failing on our reaping, and now our reapings are a joke. And that just shows
feel
how
like we need
much
it for the
our
next
group
one.
is kind of gelling as a whole now, which is really cool to see. Especially, you don't really notice it until you watch the videos
One-
again how
sorry.
well like people are getting now,
We're a little late for
or I
that.
should say how better they're getting, how well they're getting.
It's never too late for tenders.
But you want to make sure here and just you don't want the tenders to heal up because they will heal up. So you want to interrupt. And also the flask or whatever the guy drops, the explosion, basically when he goes wimpy and tries to kill himself. You want to make sure not be in that. So there's really not honestly there's not a ton to talk about in Temple of Sethraliss here. just because they didn't like these affixes don't really. Pyrrhic Blast, there we go. They don't really change that much. It doesn't change the way you pull. Whereas in Season 1, if you were dealing with the spawns of Gahoon, you had to pull differently because you didn't want to get a lot of packs because the guy that had the spawn of Gahoon that was infested, he would heal everything around him, meaning you had to kill him first, and then you had the chance of the spawns of Gahoon to spread. Whereas this time you're in control completely, and it doesn't change the pathing too much in most dungeons. It does a little bit in like heavy trash dungeons, mostly Motherlode, because there is a lot of trash in there. I think that's majorly trash actually.
I was searching for it.
So we're just gonna clear out this room to get to the second boss. We make this second boss pretty easy. In fact, I think we just burst the heck out of the thing. Because you know what, I'll wait. We'll talk about the boss when we actually get there. Because there's a lot of ways you can cheese a lot of the mechanics to make it really stupid.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull this crazed incubator here. That way we can just continue to roll and get some more progress done in here a little bit faster. Because obviously you don't want to do too big of pulls when they are bolstered, because bolstering them is just not a good idea. If you pull something just as another thing dies, it's gonna bolster it and it's gonna make it stronger for absolutely no reason at all. We got the Pyrrhic Blast. I don't really know why I was attacking the guy through the blast. You know what I mean? Because he's gonna die anyway. But just little things that I see.
Nice.
So we've got the rider here, and then we've got a couple more of the little guys there straight back, and then we have one guy that's padding to our right of the screen here. So these are the Crawlisk riders still, so you want to make sure, and if you're tanking, face them away from the group. We've got the new incubator here, so we want to make sure and focus the incubator just as Dirt had stated. So there I just used my double tap. I don't have a rhyme or reason to use it. If I'm going to use it on a boss, I'm going to use it in that 80-20 zone. Otherwise, if I'm going to use it on the boss and I want to use it on an aim shot, excuse me. I swear I cannot talk today. The sickness is getting to me. That you want to use it in that 80-20 zone because your aim shots are doing 50% additional damage. Anything that's not, i.e., in like from 79 to 21, you want to use it on your rapid fire because there's just more damage that way. So pretty much everything we were going to kill is right here in front of us. There's a few critters and whatnot they're going to run through here, but our group as a whole are getting really good at calling, feet, making calls themselves, which is really cool to see. I really kind of like watching these back, not necessarily to watch what I'm doing or maybe just see where I can make better calls, make less mistakes, but also just to see from somebody on like a fly on the walls view of the instance and of our run of how many more calls that they make than JB or myself.
I'm bringing them all the way back.
So we've got these last two guys. So like I said, we have been a little bit slow. If we're really trying to time this we would already be on the boss by now. But we're going to progress. We're going to continue to try to get to our plus 15s this season. We might be a little bit slower now that we might be gearing up some other characters. However, I'm pretty much geared as much as I'm going to be now. Because my item level, I don't think I mentioned this at the beginning of the video, but my item level is 405. So I'm pretty geared. My rings are both 385, but they are 385 they're the correct stats of the two rings I want. They have sockets and they have secondary or tertiary attributes like avoidance and stuff like that, like leech, for example. So you want to make sure and bring this boss off to the side as he just did there. That way it blows its goo or whatever off away from everybody else. So you have so much more room in the field of play, so to speak. So you saw that I had the The snakes on me, however, I didn't have to do anything because if you're running with a druid, they can, I think it's soothe it off. It's either soothe or hibernate. I'll have to ask JB, and maybe he'll leave me a comment in the video here. I think it actually might be hibernate since they're beasts that they just go away. And I think you'll see it in this video as well, where if you can CC them, if you can CC the knot of keep saying knot of spiders, and that's just a terrible thing actually. So you'll see me right there. I throw my frost trap down, my freezing trap, because if he targets me with the knot of okay, so we want to make sure and turn around. So knot of snakes on me, it got hit by the trap and immediately clears it. So that's, if you're a marksman hunter and you're not doing that, I would highly suggest start doing that. So it can be kind of iffy when he's actually going to throw him out though, because like he'll shoot the green stuff out there, then he'll
I'm knotted.
you'll have dropped the frozen trap underneath you, and then of course you don't want to be standing in the green stuff. So that's kind of iffy, and I still haven't technically figured out what the heck I need to do about that. But we are just getting, our damage is getting better as a group, so we really don't have to worry about it. Although I will admit, this is one of our least done dungeons because we don't really need anything out of it. JB can use a, so I'll throw down my trap again. JB can use a weapon for his, I think it's for his tank spec. But other than that, like, there's no reason to come in here. The Jade Ophidian Band, which is actually the ring I'm using right now, it's really good. It's a mastery, heavy mastery over versatility ring, which is really good, especially for like if you're a bear tank. That's your top two. I think it's actually good for
It's pretty stinky.
demon hunters as well. Now that I think about it, but you know. That's really it, and I've got the 385 with a socket, so I'm not too worried about getting an upgrade on that. So we got the second boss down. We are 65%, so we're about 15% left towards another. So I'll make sure I marked that one. I will always mark the ones to say, hey, I'm interrupting X, because you want to make sure and interrupt these charges, because when he releases the charges, he can have up to 2, and they do a lot of damage. Especially since they are fortified this week. And that's the last thing you want, is to bolster one of those. So I could not see where he was doing the lightning attack, which it's on me, but yet I don't know, I honestly didn't see it. And then later on when we get across the bridge after the third boss, just before the whole horde of snake dudes to put the eyes in the door, I guess. I didn't see it there either, and I'm actually going to send a link to JB and be like, look, this is what I see, because I asked in the video, I was like, do you guys see that on the ground? He's like, oh yeah. Where for me, you don't see anything. So I don't know if I'm just dumb or what.
Some parts there that I was.
So we got down with the Nimbus here. I'm so glad as we move forward into the lightning walls here, is that they slowed it down. They made it noob friendly. So I'm just going to slow roll it through here. So I want to make sure and dismiss the pet, because we are going invisible to skip all this stuff. If you are doing that, get rid of your pet, because pet pathing is terrible. And I think the pet goes invisible. However, if they can sometimes just do weird pathing, and if they run into that stuff, you've pulled it. So you don't want to do that. Alright, so we've got the dervish down here. I'm holding off on the misdirect, that way we will be pulling the next pack here in just a second.
There they go.
So we're at 73%, and I'm pulling the pet back out because we will be lusting on the third boss here. I forget even what he's called. Galvazant.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, that's his name. So we're working on these dervishes here.
Yeah, do we lust on that?
Did we lust? Nope, we did not.
That last one.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like, we used to lust on that second boss, but like, especially if it was tyrannical, I would probably lust on it. Oh god, this next boss on tyrannical would be terrible. But I don't really see the need to lust on it anymore. So I'm going to lead with my misdirect. We're going to pull that one. I'll pull this other one off to the side for him. And then you'll see my cooldowns right now. I was going to save them. However, look at our percent. We're at 76%. I was saving them for the boss because I knew we were going to need it. I did save the true shot, which, looking back, was actually no, I didn't. I take that back. I do use it. I should have waited, because
I was actually.
I should be saving that for
Is that the only way that I can avoid that?
the reaping that will be headed our way. But again, like I said, we were not paying any attention to that, and that is on me, because if,
Normally we would kill them.
I guess you can't hear me say in the videos, but that's my job. I will call, hey, you know, we're at 35%. Hey, we're at 95%. Hey, you know, we have a reaping next. So we're 82%. At least we killed those evenly.
Wow,
But then here comes the reaping.
Not great.
Not expected.
Unexpected. So the boss is coming our way. However, we don't really need to worry about it, because we're just going to stand over here and kill all these risen souls. So I'm just going to cleave on them as much as possible, as we got the bigger guys coming in here. And the cool thing is about reaping is that they ignore all affixes. So like the week after this one, i.e. last week, we had Sanguine, so we had to worry about all the Sanguine pools. In fact, it was Sanguine Grievous. Terrible week. But we didn't have to worry about them healing, because they ignore all affixes.
Nice.
Basically, I take that back. They gain a buff from the fortified affix, because they have half the health that the original mob did. So in fortified weeks, obviously they're going to have more health, because the ad originally had more health. So we're getting ready to pull Galzant here. Get here in just a second. So there was a nice, super clean jump cut by me on the cut there. So we wiped 3 times. Actually, no, I think we wiped twice. We got him to like 10%, and then people were like, "Oh, we can wait," and then we died. Anyway, so basically, if you have not done this fight before, which this late in the expansion, I hope you have done this at least once. So you want to make sure and soak all the little pyres that come out, and you don't want to take more than 9, but you'll notice I can take a lot of them. So I use my pocket heal there. I want to make sure and use that, but I will also, if you're running with a voice team, you want to make sure and call that out, so JB isn't wasting his big cooldowns on me. So I was up to 11 stacks, so I can just sit there and turtle through it. So I'm still soaking them, and see that allows my stacks to drop off. It's just really good if you are a marksman hunter. Like people forget exactly how much utility that we have. Maybe that we don't bring to the group. That so many things that we can soak ourselves.
John's got it.
I've got this next pyre here that just popped up, so I'll go ahead and start soaking that. And my true shot has just come up here, so if I'm lower than 50% of my focus, I will always lead off with a rapid fire whenever I pop my true shot. I really should wait till I pop the true shot so I can be full focus, but that doesn't always happen. And not that I panic, but I'm just like, you know what? No, I just want to start getting the damage out. So I will do it that way. So if you're someone who's trying to use their true shots more efficiently, you can start your opener or your true shot window, rotation, I guess, whenever you have roughly like 50 focus.
Holy shit!
So JB doing 38k HPS there, no big deal, right?
Oh my god.
Even he can even surprise himself sometimes. So we're gonna find a good opening here. That is gross. That is. That's funny.
Tyrannically would be here.
Yeah, straight up. JB said it completely correct there. Had we have been in a tyrannical week, we would have died on that. We probably would not have been able to get through that fight, especially without lust, because as you see, we're sated there still from our first pull, so we didn't have any lust for that. All right, so this is the fight. This is the fight I was talking about, where I cannot see that random sparks that come down. So I'm gonna get hit by it here in a second. I had no idea. Like, it does not show up at all.
That was weird, really.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's something that I need to worry about as in like a setting, but I got really lucky there and dodged it. There's not like an indicator saying, hey, it's gonna happen right here. So yep, and it killed me there. So I don't really know what I'm gonna have to figure, what I'm gonna do to figure that one out. Maybe if you guys have some pointers for me, tell me how big of a noob I am. Please let me know in the comments.
The little guys do not bolster.
So, as JB was saying, the little guys do not bolster. So they still give you.
Ready?
Oh, what is it? Is it Grievous stack? No, it's not Grievous stacks. It's Necrotic. There we go. They still give Necrotic for some reason. However, they do not bolster anymore. They used to bolster everything, so then you could have, oh look, that guy's got 20 million health. No big deal.
If they all bolster, then that's
So we're just gonna take out all these little guys here, and then we'll start running the orbs.
Pancake.
right.
Oh, little things. We didn't hit our timer, unfortunately. We calculated it out. It took us from 13 minutes left in the key to 2 minutes after we killed Galvazant. So this was very close to being able to be timed. So if we're wanting to look ahead, we can kind of see where we had some pitfalls, some mistakes, and if we changed our comp to just a little bit, I think we might have some more success. So we're gonna finish off these Orb Guardians evenly. So also I will note that killing the Orb Guardians while the little guys are around will
I don't know.
they will what is the word I'm looking for? Bolster. There we go. They will bolster the little guys, but if you kill the little guys when the big guys are around, they will not bolster. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make sure and try to throw this over the Orb Guardian.
He's stunned.
So I'm going to go up here,
Bring it up here, really.
throw it up to JB, and he should be able to go pop right on in.
Yeah.
I think I can get it here. Ta-da! There we go.
Okay. Going to the other side.
So
It didn't look like any of that bolstered.
yep, nope, no bolsters. No bolsters,
Oh, did you
JB.
guys pull?
Even the Orb Guardian didn't look like it.
See, we learned
This
something new about this
whole
place because
room
this
is
place is
getting
always
nicer.
getting tune changes.
Well, it used to,
because
remember? That's why we stopped
Yeah,
doing it.
as JB just said, we stopped doing this dungeon entirely because some affixes were just stupid. Like, it would make no sense why one of these little guys would all of a sudden bolster all of them. Like, it just was
Frame rate issues.
just kind of some oversight by
Me
Blizz.
too.
But luckily, they have come in here, especially after MDI and a lot of top-tier players complaining about it. They've finally done some things,
That's
which
great.
is good quality of life changes, and I appreciate it for all the
Fancy
flack
system is
that
working.
Blizz/Activision gets for the way World of Warcraft is right now.
Imagine the stats
They
on
do have some quality changes every
That's
once
the
in a
thing,
while.
though, when we came in here,
As my dad would
we were
say,
like,
a
"Oh,
broken clock is right twice a day.
Never again. Not on bolstering there.
So we'll go over here, we'll grab the orb, we'll run it
None of that bolstering.
back to the boss here. Or to the doors, I should say, to get to the boss.
Maybe.
So I'll just throw it way up there so JB can catch it. Ta-da! And we didn't realize it, that was actually going... I forgot that counted as percents.
Yeah, 12%.
Yeah, I honestly had completely forgotten.
I didn't know that
And
either.
some people didn't know it.
Yeah.
So we've got all the little tortured souls headed our way here. So all those little guys we just killed are coming.
Feet.
So we'll just start clearing these guys out. We're gonna start moving after they die towards the final boss, which, like I said, we're not making it time-wise as we have hit the quadruple zeros there. But overall, our group has made a lot of great progress. We did
Where's
a
everyone
couple of
else? Like, I feel like
13s
we should have
this last
more-
week, the in between from when I recorded this and the current week that I am doing my voiceover for.
All right. Should we?
But we're making some great progress as a group, and our group item level. Keep in mind, these guys, they don't raid, so like Mythic Plus is where they get their gear, and
Are we gonna shroud
they
for this?
are.
No, that's the next
I think
part.
they're
So
actually just
kill
as
this
high
next
of
part.
eye
We
level
could,
as I am.
We need to get that other pull right.
Ew.
And that's the one we need
So we're going to pull the hexer here, and we actually figured out one of our issues. So in one of our previous videos, I think it was actually the last Temple of Sethraliss video I did, they pulled the stuff we were going to try to shroud around. We're going to successfully shroud around this time. We think we finally figured it out.
Yeah.
So we thought that it was Durz's bone shield that was doing it.
Oh shit! What the fuck?
Even though
He's
this Heart
angry,
Guardian
yeah.
was like, hey, don't forget about me. For whatever reason, that neutral mob decided to pull.
I know yellow mobs. come out,
Right. But we are going to get around this last pack. You have to make sure and... oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. We need to
Blood, which is
sap
ridiculous.
the... I think it's the Hexer.
just have
And
that
then we
stack.
can just shroud around it. So, if you go over the boxes that are to the left side, you will
Easy
not
with
pull
everything,
it.
so-
If you try to go around the boxes, you will likely pull it, if that makes any sense.
Vortex got him.
So we're headed down here.
Noise.
Alright, you're going to.
So it's actually the Plague Doctor. You want to sap the Plague Doctor, and then we can all go invis. You want to make sure if you are a hunter that's using a pet, you want to, of course, get rid of the pet. This is definitely a pull you would want to make sure and get rid of it. So we want to go over the top here, and then look at that. It was easy, where everybody went
Yay.
over the top instead of
Okay.
trying to go around and then
Now we
end up
know.
pulling. We're gonna roll up and kill this guy, and this will start. Well, after we kill these guys, it will start the encounter.
Imagine that.
All right, so we're on the hexers here. So during,
Good job though. Only 5 minutes
yeah,
off.
so like we were saying, we had some good progress, and
Let's
I
go,
I am
without
I
this
am all
stuff.
about patting ourselves on the back. Where a
Think about
month
that, was
ago,
that
or
in
maybe
itself
5
was
weeks
probably
ago,
a good
we
pace
couldn't
and
we could do
everything.
9s, but we couldn't do 10s, and now we're doing
Our
13s
left
and
wasn't gone.
14s pretty easy, and very
So it was
closely
at least 5
timing.
minutes.
A very like we don't do any prep work for these. We don't do
Definitely would've been
like
here pretty close
a
to time.
method dungeon tool or anything like that, where we just pretty much roll up and do our best. I forgot to roll the misdirect there. That was one reason I did pull off of Durs. Not following my own advice because it's still skittish in this video. I kind of wish I would be able to hear the jokes that I make, because you can always hear them laughing at what I have to say. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm kind of funny. All right, so this is the last hexer here.
Right. And did the numbers on how they could and would do it.
Oh, I see. So we were
Or am I
talking
getting,
about my guild getting ahead of the curve. So we
Alright, I'm getting this
had. I don't think actually in this video we have ahead of the curve just yet, because we actually get it the week after that. Because JB and I are the top damage in our group,
Wait, there is a pole armor.
and
Oh, well, whatever.
so he wants the pole arm. So I'll make sure and change
I'm gonna
my
go
my
Guardian
loot
one.
spec to marksman there, because there's a chance at a weapon. But we are the highest damage in our group, and we wanted to make sure we were seeing like crunching the numbers to see if they could actually do it or not, and they could, and they did. So
Yeah, this guy
congratulations to
hurts.
Draexit finally getting ahead of the curve. Got it in week 9. I got it in week 10, but you know,
Yeah.
that's all right.
The,
So we want to make sure and interrupt the cast on the Plague Doctor, the Chain Lightning, because I will always call out and say, hey, Greeley's got first interrupt, and I almost always do. So I'm going to pull out the pet here in just a second, and apparently I saved this run.
It doesn't
Like you'll
matter,
hear
they don't attack
JB
you.
call out like, I'll have pulled the pet out and lusted, and then he's like, oh my god, we need lust. All that sort of thing, which was kind of cool for me to know that I kind of had the foresight, I guess, to say, hey, we probably need a lust here, especially because otherwise it's over. You know what I mean? So why? So I've got the doctor there. I'll interrupt him. That way, we can't take it with us type thing. So I use my pocket heal there just to help out with JB's heals. Make sure and don't get hit by the lightning. See, I'm wondering if that's what the lightning is supposed to look like out there when I was getting hit by it. You know what I mean? Not entirely sure. So we've got the Rain of Toads coming, all coming for JB. So we want to make sure and either kill them or soak them. I try to kill them. That way I don't have to worry about taking any damage whatsoever. So in the meantime here, JB is just healing up the boss slowly but surely with this 22 HPS. 22k, yeah, 22 HPS in here. He's doing something wrong.
Oh, I'm like DC for a second here.
So we're just kind of slow rolling it here, because I mean we're not trying to beat a timer, so it's not really worth it to go crazy
Come on.
or make it harder than it needs to be.
Nice.
So
Guys,
I've got the pet out here.
Taint.
So we'll start taking out another one of the hexers.
Taint.
Got the Heart Guardian here. Luckily, I only took one shot from him. And then we've got the Rain of Toads here. So this is when it starts to get pretty hectic in this fight. So I want to make sure and take out the Guardians, soak the Toads,
Doctor.
interrupt the Doctor.
Did you?
A
Oh,
lot of
fuck,
stuff
sorry.
going on.
I'm gonna give you bark.
Oh,
So we are actually dipping pretty low here as a group.
Beware.
So I went ahead and lust there.
yeah.
Need it. Yeah, thank you.
There we go. So that I feel it was kind of cool that the lust itself kind of maybe saved this. Not that we weren't timing it, obviously, but it did help us
I
finish it
always hated Mr. Toad.
because it was pretty rough there. He went up like 4K HPS more than he was already doing. So like that's a pretty big jump for a healer to do.
Beware.
So got the next Plague Doctor down, so I want to make sure and interrupt the Chain Lightning, as always.
Okay, Murdoch got next.
And we do a really good job in our group of calling out who's got next. And
Dora next.
so usually it goes,
No,
uh,
chain lightning.
it'll go myself, then it'll go Murdoch, then it will go either Durs or Sindorai,
got in
and
my
then
head is the
whoever
other
else was
thing
the
is
odd one
casting
out. And
those
then it
spells.
usually goes back to Murdoch because his kick has a low cooldown, and then that's when my counter shot will
I
be
got
up.
this.
That's the one downfall. So not only does it have a high cooldown, but it technically has to travel there. So it's not like an instant interrupt. There's like I think it's like a quarter-second delay. So you have to be really careful with that.
Next.
I'm on him.
You have to kind of use it sooner rather than later, if that makes
Right.
any sense. We'll finish off this hexer here, and I believe that as soon as we get through this, there's like a little intermission, and then that's when the final, like, oh, lols, you can't kill us, comes in.
Beware.
So there's the toads.
Lads.
Just make sure and kind of pop them off here, so that way we don't soak them to take extra damage. Oh, and the cool thing is, hunters, if you've made it this far in the video, first off, thank you. I really do appreciate you guys watching these. But you can actually tame these toads. I have a feeling that's not intended. So you can tame the toads in this last boss here. They are beasts. They are level 120. You can tame them, and they are tank pets. They are super cool. And we're getting ready as I'm running in place there.
Like doctors.
Kind of had a little bit of a lag
That's fine.
spike there, and then now we're just gods. So now we can just kill everything, and life is good.
Yes.
So that's pretty much going to wrap up this video. And again, guys, I am really sorry that it took me so long to get another video out. I try to get at least one of these out a week, but I think I've went almost 2 weeks, other than maybe a live stream here there without putting a video out. So I hope to not keep doing that. Like, I want to make sure and continue to make these videos for you guys, because I absolutely love doing this. And it's really cool to get the feedback from you guys.
Well-
And your guys' feedback has actually helped us time some of our stuff. So please continue to let us know
That's awesome.
what you think maybe we could be doing better.
Hell yeah.
So definitely consider following me over there on Twitch as well. It's Twitch TV/Mr. Eggplant. That way, I'm trying to build up my
15, look at you.
my fan base over there, as well as I will be having a giveaway video very soon. So I hope to see you guys on a video for that. So thanks for watching, and until my next live stream or video, I'll see you guys later.